Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. I have a new computer, so there may or may not be one or two tech issues. AR, why don't you try saying a few words and let's see if they can hear you. They definitely cannot hear you. I can say that. I can say for a fact they cannot hear you. So 1 second.
Yes, there's a few people in there now.
Okay. AR, I believe they can hear you. Say a few words.
Okay, it just went halftime, so you have my undivided attention for about 10 minutes.
Okay, and I have turned on noise reduction for AR and Dev, so hopefully they sound better. You guys in the chat can let us know. Dev, feel free to say a few words.
I am very, very tired and covered in glitter.
Actually, AR, talk a bit more. It looks like you guys are a bit hotter than normal.
Oh, okay.
Down a bit.
I mean,
Try talking a bit more.
I appreciate being called hotter.
Not the good kind. Okay,
Oh.
Dev, try talking a little bit
So by hotter, they mean like
louder.
our computer's just going to like catch on fire and everything will burn down.
That kind of
We're
happens to
just
your stuff anyway,
overdriving constantly.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys, okay, they can hear you. The noise reduction, hopefully we hear it ends up all good because the one interesting flaw of the new noise reduction is I cannot hear it for them. You guys can hear it. So if AR Dev sounds weird, please let us know because new computer stuff. Why don't you guys both give us one more sentence each and then we'll get started.
It's a great time to introduce new computer stuff on a different when we're doing it on a different day.
Yeah, that's life. Dev, go ahead.
I want a sexy new computer because if I try and like put house flipper on medium settings, it starts catching on fire now.
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run with the will.
I'm AR Pulver, currently suffering through this Packer game.
I am DevQ and I just suffered through another 10-hour shift of retail.
And we're off a new computer today, so hooray for figuring out settings. And hooray for Umaru protecting the computer. And by protecting I mean
Hopefully.
the front of the computer is a metal mesh and the power light is very bright and aims exactly at my head when I'm laying down in bed. So I put an Umaru magnet right over where the power LED is.
That is amazing.
I've done the same thing at work with speaker lights.
Yeah, because I decided not to just unplug the power LED from inside the case, but it is like a light bar, like a bright white light. And I'm like, oh shit, what magnet do I have? It's like, oh, that came with a Blu-ray set. Slap it on sideways, and all good. So,
Oh, that's amazing.
So Umaru is protecting the computer from shooting me in the head at night. How has everyone's week been?
Retail during the holidays.
Oh, so normal week for Dev.
Worse than usual week for Dev.
Yeah, it's amped up with the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, as in, I'm just like working down cookies before and after work because, yeah, I'm not getting a break during my shift at all.
Yeah, and I do public address announcing for high school basketball and Friday's game, the JV game, as in JV. There's another game after that. The JV game went to triple overtime.
Oh, that
So that's
sounds.
been my week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Ghost Game to talk about.
Which was entertaining this week.
It is, but
it
it
was
also
entertaining.
it also fell right back into exactly what we kind of hoped it would not do, which is, hey, it was a standard episode of Ghost Game with some interesting stuff, to be fair.
See, I'm okay with going back to the standard now that we've had a couple
See,
episodes
I'm
that kind of develop things a little bit.
I'm kind of not, because for an evolution episode, I kind of want something more interesting, and the evolution was almost boring. It was almost like superfluous to the episode itself, which feels very strange for an evolution.
I kind of disagree with
at least
that.
she won her evolution fight. There have been characters that totally got their ass beat.
I'd push back on that, but I disagree on the point that it's kind of superfluous. It was a very standard, old school Digimon evolution episode.
I found it kind of worthless because she was winning. She was winning already.
She wasn't. Oh, she was not. She was not winning.
They were at least tied. No. The first fight, when Kiyoshiro was actually awake, they were at least tied on that.
Oh yeah,
one.
no, that doesn't count.
No, see, that does count, because that's not a matter of her needing to be stronger. It's a matter of any strategy that was coming up was just gone, and then she was left by herself.
Right, which emphasized the point that she needed him. Like that.
But then she didn't.
Kind of worked for me. Well,
but that's what I mean.
No, she was getting her ass kicked.
No, but I'm saying she didn't need him strength-wise, is what I'm saying. She was strong enough to fight the battle.
Was the one. When she was inside the game, Kiyoshiro was helping control her movement.
But she was still strong enough for the fight, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that was also inside a video game, which has a little different interface than your usual Digimon battle.
You're not wrong, but
totally.
That'll
work.
It wasn't really herself in the game. She was just kind of like overwriting the avatar to look like
she was a character in the game.
On the plus side, hey, Kotaro exists again.
Kotaro's horniness is becoming a recurring plot device. I think that's the second time they've leaned in on that, possibly the third. I don't remember the opener, but that's becoming a thing.
He wants to impress Ruli, so yeah, he's totally.
He did want to. Okay, so that's the third time now that his
and while he
has been plot forward,
and while he's horny,
Gamamon led to his death.
Gamamon is sitting there floating, staring at hot cocoa. And I believe he called it champion juice.
Yes, and it was adorable.
Champion juice, yes.
Yeah.
There's just like a couple requisite moments where Gamamon's just going to do something cute. And I appreciate
That's kind of all he does in some episodes, is just floating there, and he gets.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything else in this episode.
Neither did Ruli or Angoramon, who they actually.
Ruri did nothing in this episode.
They jump to them and be like, "We're on our way to help," and then I actually forgot they didn't show up until the end, and then the end where they show them still floating there doing nothing.
And then they didn't.
And hey, we already have Bokomon and Bakuman again in a different library.
Yeah, see, that was a nice. That was a little. It was reassuring that they. It's like, okay, yes, they're going to be recurring characters, and I did like that they talked about them moving
instead of the other one.
I have.
Because that was actually kind of nice that they glossed over. They talked about that just a little bit, because I'm like, they're a train trip away. Oh no, they moved. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like we read everything there. We're here now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Bokomon's keeping supplies.
What happens when they read all the books in the local library?
And Bokomon's keeping supplies of chocolate for Gamamon.
Which is absolutely precious. Like, yes, just give them all the Whoppers.
I mean, there's no way you're keeping him in a library otherwise.
I will say I did like how Jellymon gets into the game, which is just making one of her tentacles a USB plug and plugging in.
It's very Hackmon, and I liked it.
Yes. And
Oh,
I
she's such an asshole, and I love her.
and I appreciate that they did the profile art shot, which we don't always get with characters. I appreciate that they did that. When they first had her do her special move kick, they used like the exact shot
Oh
from the
yeah,
profile art.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It feels like that's something you could do. They could do more often with the very
they really
isolated
should.
shots of those attacks.
They really
Yeah.
should. And then Ginkakumon makes a larger arcade stick for the battle because that makes things easier.
Yes, more buttons makes it easier to control.
I,
That's how it works.
do you like the show Being Cruel, where it's like, oh, okay, everyone's wanted an extended fight, here you go, but it also has probably the worst animation we've seen in the series so far.
And it's the extended fight was also inside a video game, and when they're in reality, it's still kind of a pushover, and TeslaJellymon doesn't actually beat Genkakumon. Just sort of
Tes,
knocks her down again and is like, okay, we're done. It's the same ending as the Yadagaramon.
I think you mean slightly taller Jellymon. I'm not sure how I feel about that evolution, to be honest. I like the design. The issue is I'm not sure it does enough as an evolution design for me, though. It's
Yeah, we
it's
I
kind of
could
need
see
to
like
see more
another
of that.
episode of it. Kind of
maybe
like
Yeah,
how
my
we didn't
my
realize right away that
it's
Jellymon could turn her
yeah.
tentacles into a gun.
and
So
again, it's the evolved forms just haven't been convincing because again, they have not yet convincingly won a fight yet. So it's really hard to buy the evolved forms when they haven't actually accomplished anything
Yeah,
yet.
but in the
Like I
case
haven't I don't have the same feeling about Battlemon and Kausgamamon.
no,
Like I'm
but at
not
least when you look at them, they are unique designs, even if they're not wildly different. In the case of TeslaJellymon, I kind of look at it and I kind of go, she kind of
it's a
transforms and
wardrobe change.
yeah, she sort of changes her look anyways. So it's just slightly taller, a bigger hat, and a skirt. And I know the skirt are
are
the
It,
you a
tentacles,
kid
it's
or are you a kid?
but it's kind of weird because it feels like it's not enough of a change for a character that they've decided changes stuff anyways. And just
Eh,
yeah. Yeah.
and and then
It's it also we almost get away with it a little bit with the idea of having the evolved forms keeping the names. Like there is a
maybe,
little bit of that
but it
continuity that
it feels a little
I get what
boring
you're
though.
oh no, I don't know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's a little more excusable
a
with that,
little
but
bit.
still.
Yeah.
Little bit, yeah.
And then real fight, Kiyoshiro scared and passed out, which hey, that is a use of Chekhov's gun where they tell us earlier what's going to
Mhm.
happen. They don't do it, and then I will say this, I didn't like her
Yeah.
evolution scene.
it's just kind of
It
boring.
was
They
it was
feel really
it was
short.
standard. Yeah, it was standard Digimon for me. Like it was
See,
just
no,
sort of
see, for me,
I don't know whether that's I don't know whether that's a compliment or not. Like it felt very like season 1, okay, I need extra power. We need to do this together, usual. Like it's earned. It's after the reboot I kind of appreciate that sort of thing, but
mm,
it's very
kind of boring.
cliche. Yeah.
Yes, I would have liked something other than just the starburst and then she's gone and then TeslaJellymon's there. Just and some minimal thing would have been nice to have. I think that's what I
I
was.
think we kind of got spoiled by that Greymon Evo in the reboot.
Yeah, that really did spoil
Yeah.
us. And then fight's over after one hit, which that's happened
Yep.
before. And
That's
hey,
how Ghost
In
Game
this
does
case,
things
I'm
now.
not mad about it because in the context of a fighting game, there's
so
usually
here's the
like
thing.
3 rounds.
I am mad about it for one reason, and my opinion on this could change based on the follow-up. But you can't use these two and not use the combined form when the combined form's literally one of them arcade sticking the other. That's literally the shtick of these characters. So my judgment of the
Yeah,
episode could change if they come back. If they don't, then I think this episode actually gets significantly worse when you bring in specific Digimon and don't use their shtick in an episode custom designed for it, basically.
Yeah, see, I didn't know about that shtick, and I still don't care. So they worked almost effectively enough for me if they were just one shots. But that said, I think that one shots and then Ginkakumon saying, "Okay, I'm good," and giving up, and then making Ginkakumon give away the booze was also like, you earned that. You earned those trophies. Why are you giving up after getting pushed over in one fight? Like, that just doesn't make sense to
He
me.
probably doesn't give a shit about the booze.
No, he just
I think
generically
Ginkakumon gives quite a.
Yeah, he just
I think he
generically
gives
wants
quite a shit
booze.
about the booze.
It's just, as far as he
Yeah.
knows, that's the only way for him to get it where he is. This is the one thing that does work
okay.
where it goes back to they're stuck in the real world, and he's effectively powered by booze. He needs it, and they don't know
How do
that
we
they.
know? How do we know that digital world booze isn't excellent with fermented children?
It could be. But I think he just wants booze. I don't think he particularly cares. Because the instant they said you could buy booze, the reaction was, wait, what? Like, it didn't even occur
Yeah,
to
see,
them that there would be booze.
So then it almost combines the worst of the Adagaramon episode ending and the Mummymon and Pumpmon and all those like misunderstanding kind of episodes. Like, it sort of combines the worst of those.
But that's what I
for
mean.
me,
It kind
and
of
it doesn't really add a lot for it.
kind of was a standard Ghost Game episode, for better
It
or
really
for
was.
worse. Like
yeah, like, it was entertaining enough.
Oh, no, it
It
definitely
falls into
was.
the same trappings that it always does.
It's just
That said, it was fantastic that Hero's like, "Oh, my dad's got a bunch left over. I'll just hook you up."
Yeah, and of course,
What middle schooler says that? I love that.
And of course, if and when it is dubbed, I demand they just call it tea with no further explanation, as is the tradition.
Kombucha.
No, just literally just call it tea and say nothing else.
Why don't they call it hot sauce?
See, I don't think what we see a bit of looks like hot sauce, though. I think you can get away with tea with the visual.
it would work. You can get away with tea.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you're supposed to steep those with leaves?
That's what Tenchi did.
Humans? What?
Tenchi got away with tea 20 years ago, and I'm pretty sure you can still get away with it now.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I like that we're pretending that this is going to be dubbed for children, but
it's going to be dubbed for children
those
on
were the days.
Netflix and be put up in batches that don't make any sense, and then, much like Cowboy Bebop, it will be gone in 20 days.
Season 1. Yeah. Yeah, canceled after season 1. Oh,
but yeah, it's not a bad episode. I after one episode of stuff, I kind of crave more of it and not have it just be a one-off of stuff.
Yeah, I was ready for this to be, a few episodes of filler.
See, the problem here's the problem is
I use filler differently.
Yeah, no, I know, but the problem is next week I'm pretty sure we're getting the same thing again.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing next week.
Yeah.
And again, I'm prepared for that, and I'm pacing wise, I'm comfortable with that. Like, you've only got a few episodes of buffer, like I think maybe like 13, 14, they need to get a little bit more into the story, but right now I think
by the end
tank's a bit full.
I think by the end of 13 there has to be some sort of story going on. I think that's the
something.
Yeah. We need something by the end of episode 13, even if it's just at the very end of episode 13 something happens and the rest of the episode's normal. I think by the end of that episode there has to be something somewhere. I don't know what that is.
But again, that could be as simple as something as having a menacing, shadowy shot of a future major villain at the end of an episode like that.
There's an asterisk though. It cannot just be Gammamon standing there and then we see the Gauss Gammamon shadow again. It has to actually be something. It can't just be the shadow again. Everyone going.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it,
But
it, it
Gammon
sort of
safe
played
enough.
that once. If the next time that shadow shows up, it's got to develop it a little
Yeah.
bit more.
And next time we get Kamataichi, where they decided there's no real way to translate this title. We're just calling it that and leaving it as is. Which I will give them credit for doing that instead of trying to go like Wind Demon or Wind Ghost or something. I will give them
Yeah,
credit for this.
it's more effective. It's more effective just keeping this name.
Although I will say, I think that any interest in the narrator is gone at this point. They don't
Yeah,
even
I just kind of like blur out whatever the fuck he's talking about.
like at the beginning. It doesn't even
Yeah.
feel like they're customizing it anymore. It's just I think
Yeah.
they are swapping some footage, but it's kind of just the same 15-20 seconds of narration, sometimes with a word or two swapped around. So
Would we
we,
be happier if it was Goku doing it?
I think so. Because here's the thing, at least that was
Okay.
like different
Okay.
week by week. So even if it wasn't great to have it, and I will say the one difference here that's improved is it doesn't spoil the episode because they don't say anything of value here.
Yeah.
But but yeah,
That's true.
but we absolutely are not having, Goku going, since Patamon could not evolve into Angemon, things have been different. Let's see what happens. Wink, wink. So I can at least appreciate that we're
Yeah.
not getting that anymore.
Yeah, like we have not been officially spoiled that Sambare Angoromon's going to show up next week, which it probably will.
I think the fact that, well, we'll go over something later where they basically tell us that yes. And then,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
it's everyone's favorite movie to forget that exists because
It was like 20 minutes.
it's 20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes and mostly incomprehensible too.
It's 20 minutes. It looks terrible. It's incomprehensible. And the only reason it has any relevance nowadays is they made our Algomon a relevant character in
Algomon.
Adventure.
It had Lalamon doing sausage nunchucks, and that alone
And
is worth
most people
salvaging.
don't even
Yeah,
remember
that's
it's
the
from the
reason we
movie.
watched it.
Most people don't even remember it's from the movie. They think it's just something she did in the show.
It still happened in
But
the
hey,
movie, so we thank it for that.
the Shine Greymon Burst mode shows up in it for the first time, though.
And Agumon goes reverse furry.
And Rhythm's cute. Rhythm was a fun character that we love to
Eh,
speculate over.
eh.
And add as deities in certain fan
Rhythm
fiction.
is the same as 10 other characters in the franchise.
Yeah, but she has a funny hat.
I will give you that.
I think the best comparison for Rhythm right now is Mon from Rear Eyes. I think that's where she fits right now.
And moving on from Savers because it's Savers. This
And
came up.
because you might not know the plot of Rear Eyes.
This came up at the end of the last episode. Digimon Partners is open outside of Japan, and God bless them, they couldn't even do that well.
Yeah, it kind of sucked a lot.
So it's a machine translation that does not work properly in various places. They didn't add any, like, remember, you could register before and there was an entry for outside of Japan. That's still there. They haven't added like other countries. It's just you have to find that listing for outside Japan. Various things don't translate. Various things don't translate correct because they haven't set any manual overrides like they do on Digimon Web. And it's actually gotten worse.
Yeah, you can't even look at the shop anymore.
Nope, they've actually locked out looking at the shop for anywhere outside of Japan. So to even look at the shop, you have to have a VPN, which you couldn't
Which is
shop from it before, but you
stupid.
could look at it. You could figure out what you wanted. If you wanted to, you could deal with an intermediary. Now you actually have to jump through hoops to look at things you can't buy.
Good job, Digimon Partners.
I honestly thought they were going to do something when they announced it because, they're like, oh, we're working on it, blah, blah, blah. And it's literally just a machine translation button and they locked out the store.
They
They
could
didn't.
have they could have done this
But they
from the
broke it.
start.
They not only could have done this from the start, most browsers have the fucking button there to do it. That's how most people were viewing it anyways, was they would just hit the button in their browser to do it. I I mean, it's our fault. We expected some level of effort when they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna do it internationally. We know you guys have wanted it," and then 4 months later, it's just machine translation button that's worse than the machine translation built into most browsers.
Yep, it is shit.
Right now, the only reason I'd sign up for it is to see which partner I get.
See,
The
so I
quiz is incomprehensible bullshit. I'm telling you
so
now,
oh no, the machine
it's trash.
translation, yeah. But here's the thing: I see multiple people going, "Look who my partner is." That's like they say it, and they also say that they had the answer sheet. You didn't do anything then.
Yeah, that's cheating. Like
It's
I
not.
would
It's
use it
literally
any like
three
maybe for my
questions, which
final
are
one, if I was actually like
barely.
committing to
Oh
the
no,
site, like
absolutely. But I mean the people going
yeah.
like, I wanted Agumon, so I got Agumon on the site by using an answer sheet. It's like you didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's not getting Agumon. That's
That-
deliberately trying to get Agumon. Like I
That's
would do the same thing to get like Offmon or something for if I was to like actually be on the site.
see,
But
I
no, if I'm just
see
gonna
when I signed up,
goof off and take the quiz, I'm gonna take the quiz legit.
I don't actually remember who I
Or at
because
least at least I would find out what the questions are
yeah. See, I'm
and
pulling
use the answer sheet to figure out who I'd end up with.
yeah, I'm pulling it up because I actually when it first opened, I actually just did it and actually answered the questions, and I don't even remember who I got. I think it was Galmon. Who the hell
Ooh,
did I
that's
get?
fun.
Oh yes,
I
it
got
was
Widget.
Galmon. Yeah, I got Galmon.
I love that you ended up getting a Savers one. That shows that you were honest about
Oh,
it.
that's fucking hilarious to me. Because there's no fun in just going, okay, the partner I want is X, and then answer questions that have nothing to do with me to get that result. That's not fun.
There's also
Yeah.
only 3 questions. One's like, do you have siblings? Have
Yeah.
you been to
Yeah.
Scramble Crossing? And one other completely bullshit answer that I can't even remember.
Yeah. And now
Didn't Kakudo get an Atmon or something?
he
That
got
was fun.
he got something funny, and it was I think he said something to the effect of he had to look up to find out who the character was because he wasn't familiar with them, but he seemed happy with the
I
character
think
after
it
he
was
found them.
I think it was Offmon,
I think
if I
you're right.
recall
I think
correctly.
you're right.
It was either
Yeah.
Offmon or like
And
Gashmon
and
or
moving on
something.
from one incomprehensible, confusing thing to the next. Digimon source code has been announced for China, a new mobile game. Didn't the one just officially come out like 2 weeks ago, like after being in beta for God knows how long?
Yeah, it makes no
Did
sense
that
they
just
have another one because
did that just
China's
come
doing a
out?
lockdown
Yes,
on how many hours
that's
you can
why the
play
song
any
Oh
kind of
my
game.
that's
god.
why the song came out. Was it finally fully launched after being
Oh
in
man.
prototype alpha beta?
I thought New Century had been out for a while and the song was just like a
I
follow
th-
up.
I think
Oh my
new
No,
god.
I think New Century only came out like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I
Oh
think
my god.
I
That's
think it was all
hilarious.
alpha and beta stuff before that. So now we have Digimon source code. We know very little except they're very proud about the graphics, and I
You
really
know,
hope they're better than what we've
I
seen.
think I was I think I was confusing it for the one that came before it, the Bluegomon
Oh,
one.
encounters.
Because that's Encounters, yeah.
I,
That's a different game.
yeah, that's one of
That's
those
what
that's
confused
one of
me.
those that one
Because
of our
China keeps coming out with new Digimon games every 6
yeah.
months or whatever.
and then they just fucking die.
Well, no, okay, I could be wrong. I think encounters is still up. I think it's just feature content complete. It's sort it gets confusing because a lot of times the news we have is different and people are just wrong. Like most people say that Digimon Masters does not exist anymore. The original Korean MMO. That is gone
Mm,
internationally. In Korea, that's still there. They still update that.
mm,
But
okay.
I think and I 100% could be wrong on this. I believe it is still up. It just doesn't have any new content. Um,
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. This one is weird because we don't know if any of this is actually in-game stuff. Like
I doubt it.
they're very proud of the graphics.
This does not look like in-game stuff.
Well, so here's the thing. Certain
Maybe
things.
maybe like on the beach, like on the beach render, those look like they might be actual renders, but
Well, those
some of
are
the promotional ones.
Yes, those definitely are not. Those are art.
Yeah.
But it gets confusing, like when you look at the renders of the Digimon in like the virtual chooser thing. It's where these are clearly new models that someone put a lot of effort into, but they have a very plastic. Someone bragging on Twitter about how they improved Mario, and it has that generic high res but not
Mm-hmm.
textured correctly look.
They look like marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or like if you look at Gomamon's
Yeah.
mouth, something with Gomamon's mouth bothers the hell out of me, like the angling on it.
Mm-hmm.
But these aren't bad models. Like the Gabumon fur actually has a decent look to it. It just doesn't look like Gabumon's fur. And am I wrong?
What's that gonna look like? What's that gonna look like on a phone
Well,
too?
I was gonna say, am I wrong, or does he look way too slim? Like he has very long legs. Like if you look
He
at the
looks like a
angles,
frog.
yeah, exactly.
He looks like a frog.
So we will see what pops up with this in the future. Like encounters gave us Blue Command, Bulk Command, whatever the 10 different names that we've had for him are. Um, I forgot that. Oh, New Century. They've said there's gonna be new Digimon based on Chinese legends. I don't recall if we've seen them yet. Effectively, anything from China, I wait for our Chinese fans to send me because it is very hard to look that stuff up.
Yeah.
So we will see what pops up here. They seem very proud of that Tailmon render because they showed it in multiple places. So we will see what pops up here because, man, the more I look at these renders, the more they look kind of terrifying. Where they look kind of like they
They
kind
try to be overly realistic.
see they
Re-
don't
They
they
fail.
it's okay. Rest assured, we will never be playing this game.
no. You know what the issue is? I actually it was based off something we all said. The models look nice. The textures are shit. The textures don't fit well enough because they look weirdly plastic. But yes, as AR said, we're never fucking playing this.
Not worth losing sleep
Yeah.
over.
And then card news. They are giving out way too many fucking previews. We have Kulumon from Kenji Watanabe. That's great fucking art. Like that looks like something that could have been a promotional piece of art 20 years ago for the show.
It's very simple and
Yeah.
cute.
Then we get the ADR jury and the ADR gatekeeper.
Oh, I love
Anime
that they're
Plus.
coming out with the ADRs.
I believe ADR 1's gonna fuck up Wikimon because I don't think that was the name that it used for it.
No, we use
Yeah. Well,
ADR01.
Yeah, it just refuses to give it a
yeah.
name,
Well, it's
even though the image on Wikimon right now labels it as jury.
oh, yeah. I always heard it was jury type,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Oh, whatever it is, it's taken from the Animation Chronicle booklet.
yeah. And then they have to
Oh,
put
I could look that up if you
they have
want.
to put the
Yeah.
equal signs there to make it slightly more complicated of a name. Zaumon and Labramon get their movie
I.
usage. I have to say
Puppy!
that Zaumon card's the
Uh,
cutest fucking card imaginable. And
oh.
Gilmon's asleep in the background.
Because it's just like in the movie where Gilmon was on vacation with Takado in
Yeah,
Okinawa.
that was the Okinawa vacation episode.
Yeah. And then the movie theme continues. We get Siesamon.
Seasamon.
That's a
Yeah.
really nice piece of art, I have to say.
I can't look at Seasamon without thinking of Azumanga Daioh. Just Caesar.
Mephismon got a really nice card, I have to say. Although for some reason
It's very menacing.
people seem really fucking preoccupied with his hand for some reason. I've seen like 10 people comment on the hand. I'm looking at him like I don't know what the joke is here.
Yeah.
I
Are you
think
expecting it to have claws or something?
I don't know. And then Gulfmon, which
Did he paint his nails?
I don't know.
I mean, yes.
I
yes,
love
he did.
I love Gulfmon doing kind of the jump out of the card pose. That works really well, I think. And then the Tamers continued. So we got Lopmon, which I like the card a lot. The art style is a bit gloopy for me, to be honest, for Lopmon and for Endearamon. Although I really do like the art. It just has kind of a gloopy. You know what?
Yeah,
You know what
it's
it is?
very
I
soft
just
and
figured out what it is.
flustered.
Yeah.
Instead of the normal chocolate, this is like some spilled chocolate powder on the counter.
This.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then Shuichan gets new art. I feel like the slight differences in the art style for most tamer cards actually benefits her.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it
It
works a lot. And then we've seen the Terramon card before. The Gummymon card, I don't believe we saw, and that card's gorgeous.
so cute.
I'm the Terramon one. The face still bothers me, to be honest.
It's the way that they kind of like
Yeah.
put shading on his lower lip. It looks like he has a
Yes.
weird mustache
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've seen Genra before, but much better quality here. And then, hey, look, it's a plug-in card using generic art. Hooray. Um, okay, then these are some of the best ones. Galgomon and Rapidmon. I love how the pose is kind of mirrored. I don't know if that was actually on purpose or that just happened to be a pose that worked for both of them. But I kind of love how they're kind of mirrored of each other. And the art style really works well for Rapidmon. Like, really good. And then Saint.
Funny.
This is not the pose I expected for Saint Galgomon. Just the fuck 'em all, launching every missile, super robot anime.
Poor Daka.
I 100% was not expecting that. But I like it. Then we got a few more previews from Fundigica. We got Leomon. We got Fist of the Beast King, Jury, and Mother D Reaper. These cards are a bit of a surprise, especially the Mother D Reaper. It's a Digitama card. Which that's an interesting twist. Jury, I would say, benefits from the art style also. The mouth, I do not like. They've like done like a 3D perspective on the mouth, and it doesn't work.
Looks just like a check mark.
Yes. Fist of the Beast King, really nice style, I think. And Leomon looks very strong and menacing in his normal card art. And then those were from Fundigica. Card Battle Online continued the online matches, and we did not get a camp. We did not get Chiba dressed as anything except his avatar for the online battles is like a cardboard costume thing with like a smiley face, where his avatar kind of looks like they tried to do the dress up gag. They did 2 of those online battles.
I see that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they will continue to do those for a little bit. And then they had the large Tabor Exchange party like they planned. They did, an online opening ceremonies and closing, and we got some news. So first up, we got our first look at Booster Set 9 X Record, which confirms, people were arguing about whether it's going to be Cross Wars or X Antibody. Definitely X Antibody.
Yep.
Very easy to tell that when Alphamon's on the cover. We see some more Alphamon art, and if you flip the art around, you get to see someone else, which is fun. And then the most fun news, which is news where people don't read the news and get excited when they probably shouldn't be. They announced an online play system for the Digimon card game that at no point have they said they're just going to release for people to play.
Which makes me sad.
It's going
Because
to
that would actually get me to play the game.
It's going to start off being used for online events. The first one will be that US Japan event they announced. And they're looking at expanding it for stuff like promotional usage, letting people try out the game early on. Now that they've started to build it, though, it feels like that is the natural conclusion, especially when they have chat integrated into it and everything. But that is not like the day one plan for this. It is not, okay, there's now a client and you can just play the game with friends. That's what people have taken it as, though. So
that's what people want. and what other card games have done. So
But plenty of card games don't also though. And the card game's still actually at this point the card game's still not actually that old. It's little more than a year and a half old at this point. But that they've built anything suggests at the very least that it will probably go that way eventually. It should, but we'll see.
I hope.
Yeah. And then brand new Digimon profile focusing on rivals. We get new social style art of Leomon and Ogremon. I like the choices of who they went over. There's some good choice here, like Podamon versus Bergamon.
Yeah, there's some good choices in there, and then a few that I swear they just made up.
Well, that one they just made up, but it's still fucking great
Yeah.
because it fits.
No, that one's totally legit. I completely believe that one.
Oh, so I like the one-sided ones feel made up, like Piomon
Yeah, the
viewing
one-sided
Patamon as
ones
rival.
are all just they needed to pad this out a little bit more because there's always like the main section and then a
So
slight little
one
supplemental
of
section.
them, I believe only one of these I know for a fact that we knew of for the one-sided ones.
The
Now here,
Witchmon.
no,
yeah,
the Agumon Hakase.
Fake Agumon Hakase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like
I think I've heard of the Witchmon. The Witchmon Wizardmon one, I think.
I
I've heard of
think
before.
so. And here's the thing: a lot of these may be from one thing, and we just don't remember. It's very possible. The only one that I fully remember is the Agumon Hakase one.
Yeah, I think the Piomon Patamon one, I think that's just a cute joke. Like that feels like one they sort of made up because they both kind of suck at flying, so they're just gonna make fun of that a little bit.
Yeah,
like you tried and you both failed.
I like the social style art here. There's only one issue with the social style art though. With Leomon, we get the cool pose and then we get his face. With Ogremon, we get his face and then we get a similar shot of his face. It's not exactly the same.
Face.
It's not exactly the same, but it's very close. Because that's already the pose he's in.
Slightly different direction.
His tongue is slightly different tongue positioning.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good piece of art, but man, Leomon gets like great framing and Ogremon gets that twice. And then Vital Bracelet and a bit of other stuff. So they showed off the dim card holster. I don't know why they showed it off. It's the same as the last one, just a different color.
I just remind people that it existed.
Yep, buy plastic stuff. Then Digimon Classroom, they went over the new dim cards. They showed off the Dynamotion figures. And from both there and a reference book update, and from the dim cards being out, we have profile artwork.
Woohoo!
So we have the art. We have reference book updates of Simbare Angoramon and TeslaJellymon.
TeslaJellymon looks nicer in the profile art than
does.
the episode.
Yeah.
The colors are much more vibrant.
She looks very nice. Simbare Angoramon, we'll see. And then, because the app is out, we have nice quality art for Lemormon. With his swords on either side that you can see on his back.
I was not expecting a Wolpertinger, but I will take this because it is absolutely fluffy and I want to hug it.
Yeah. And then, so this is where it gets weird. We commented on Tethysmon's design from the sprite quite a bit last week, and this looks. Remember how we said we have to wait until we get actual art to figure out that design? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, or does this look nothing fucking like that sprite at all?
Yeah, this is completely. I wasn't expecting anything like this.
Because like from
it still retains some core elements of.
Absolutely. But from the sprite,
I still believe it as an evolution. The sprite, yeah.
The sprite felt like a bioorganic mecha type thing.
Yes, exactly. I made a comment. It felt like a boomer from Bubblegum Crisis.
Yeah. This is a larger Jellymon with different colors and electromagnetic gloves and a mask. Which I like this design better, to be fair. But I was mentally
it's very electropunk. Yeah.
But I was very mentally prepared to see art based on that, in the same design of that sprite, and this is completely fucking different.
Something similar along the same lines as the sprite, and
This
is
is
just completely different.
Yeah.
It's more appropriate. It's more suited to Jellymon.
No,
It's also like a lot brighter and more pastel colors rather than like other ones like super grungy cyberpunk.
The only flaw that I find with that is it felt like they would have to do something interesting to make that design work. And now I'm like, okay, this works for Jellymon 100%. More so than the other one. But the other one felt like they would have to do something interesting in an episode to make that explained. Like it'd be an episode that has to do with robots or something. Now it's like,
there's enough, they have enough, as we saw this episode there, they have enough, internet craziness that they can concoct something to justify that, but this works really well, and you don't need to go into it.
And you
can just have an evolution
really
episode
gets, like, the
in the future.
Am I wrong, or looking at it, does it feel like there's some sort of candy theme going on?
It's
probably the colors. Actually, the thing is,
like the pink, like the pink ball on her back.
Shit.
Yeah, no, that's a pepper. That looks like a peppermint thing going on.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to get more of this, because I'm not mentally prepared for this at all. Like Levormon, or Lemormon.
It's like, it's very blue aquatic. Lilymon.
Yeah, Lemormon is exactly what I expected based on the art, or based on the sprite. Yeah. This is just completely out of left field, and I really liked the design though, but was not prepared for it when I saw it. It's like, wait, who the hell is this? Where's the the one that we already saw? It's like, oh, okay, that's a neat design.
With Sambare and Lemormon, I do appreciate the increasing feralness of Angoramon.
Yeah, it will be.
Oh, he's a Totoro. It's King Cosmo. Oh shit, he's pissed.
I'm trying to decide if the show will pay off that look.
It won't, but I wish it would.
I don't know. The problem is
that's a little too tamers for Ghost Game for me. I don't think it's gonna go there.
See,
I don't think they're gonna go with if they went profile there either. I mean, it's like, oh hey, if they went people and beat them to death until they stop breathing.
Yeah, I'd consider that a possibility if it was the main character. I don't think they're gonna subject to that.
Here's why I wonder, because these all do have to be characters who were designed for the show. So, or is it just gonna be like, okay, Angoramon as he always is, and just he looks scary, and that kind of upsets him because he's still just completely. I would enjoy that, but it feels like if you go with the design, there has to be a reason. But that's 100% not true.
I mean, I think it's just sort of. It'll probably just be some sort of a point where Angoramon just like, okay, I got to take care of this. Time to get serious.
Yeah.
No more fluffy.
Or like, oh no, Ruli was hurt, and I think she's dead, and just loses his shit.
Yeah, I feel like that. I don't
even think they'd go.
No, that's what I mean.
That far, but again, I wish they would.
I feel like that sells it, like AR is saying won't happen, but we'll see. And then
that's a stretch.
First up, we have Jellymon's actress posting a photo of the Jellymon figure and commenting that the dims are out. And she posted this the day before the episode, and she commented to, please keep an eye on that episode tomorrow, which. Hey, Jellymon evolves. And then our best look yet at the Christmas Doraemon. And I need to check. Am I wrong? I think this is the Christmas. I think this is based on the Christmas art we got a few years ago. I completely forgot that exists.
Like the social art?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up also. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I completely forgot that existed. And I think that, I'm not saying it's the same design, but I think that's where they got the idea. Wait, here we go. I'm looking at it and, it is that Doraemon.
Really similar, yeah.
It's
there's the lights and the little.
No, the Pikmons.
The snow mustache.
The Pikmons are there in the sprite. This is
like a little bell.
And the Starmon on top. This is that Doraemon. That's very clever.
I love that. It makes me happy.
It was funny. I was looking at that. I think about it, but I didn't pull it up to look. And wow, it actually there's very small tweaks, but like it has the Starmon at the top with the bell. It that looks great.
The lights draped around it.
You need to have the tiny Tokomon stuffing the orange into its mouth, though. But yeah, and then we have some social art. So first, Kenji Watanabe put up art of TeslaJellymon, and Gamamon. Love the mouth pose is perfect for that for
Yeah.
Jellymon.
Yeah.
And then
And Gamamon for that matter.
yeah, but no, I specifically mean like that sort
The
of
smirk, yeah.
yeah. Then Tenya Yabuno did Jellymon, Tesla Jellymon and Kiyoshiro. Another great pose. Kiyoshiro looks far too happy for Kiyoshiro.
What is going on with Kiyoshiro? Stop embarrassing yourself. You do that enough in the show.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really good art. The colors work perfectly for those characters, though I will say. Like,
Yeah, it's a shame it wasn't as like vibrant in the episode.
it was a dark scene, to be fair. And then we have questions. You guys in the chat can throw yours up.
Talk about the poll. Did we miss the poll?
Didn't we do over that last week?
No, there was a new poll, and we 100% did miss it.
The new one.
We got busy talking about the rivals. So while you guys think of questions, yes, we got very busy talking about the rivals, and then we all stopped looking at the part of the notes that said talk about the poll. So the poll this time is which of these 13 Digimon things from 2021 are your favorite? The poll runs until December 22nd, so it's the Vital Bracelet was released. The Digimon figures were released. Dynamotion figures were released. Figurized standard model kits started to come out. The 20th anniversary of Digimon Tamers. Various products and events happened. Digimon Partners opened. I forgot that was still this year. This year feels like
that was
only April, wasn't it?
April, March, or April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that was April 1st, wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah.
That was like on the Tamers anniversary, I think.
Yeah, because that was also announced. Like that was a big announcement that everyone was thinking they were going to announce a new movie or a series.
That was the movie stream where like we're gonna have a big announcement. It's like we're announcing
not
that's
right. That
Twitter.
came after the X Evolution stream or something.
No. That was the live commentary where they're like, the director of the movie's gonna be there too. Wink, wink. We have a big announcement.
Yeah.
Digimon's social media site, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not what we thought was going to be announced."
Yeah.
Then DigiFest was held on October 1st. They announced They announced the new O2 movie, which was announced at DigiFest.
Yep.
Digimon Adventure began its final.
That's okay.
Digimon Adventure began its final chapter. Ghost Game began airing, which that was also from DigiFest.
Yep.
Digimon Dreamers.
The announcement was, yeah.
Digimon Dreamers began publishing. The special sub-site Digimon Profile opened. It's weird to think how new that still is, actually. Like,
yeah.
And then more than 100 Digimon.
And honestly, it's kind of fun.
Oh no, it absolutely is. It helps that it has the framing of Agumon Hakase giving us information and it not just being a page. And then the last one
is
a
source of new artwork as well.
Yes. And then the last one is more than 100 Digimon were added to the reference book.
And they couldn't spell half of them right.
Nope. And then Wikimon went along.
Some of them are even new ones.
See, new ones.
Some of those 100 are even new ones.
New ones at least have the advantage of the wrong name of being able to go, okay, that's the name, whatever.
Yeah. They did good with new ones.
Yeah. So
let's be real.
Open through December 22nd. Which do you think you would vote for, or have you already voted?
I voted for Ghost Game, and when I say I voted for it like an hour ago when I checked the notes. I think Vital Bracelet's going to win.
See, the problem is especially with something like this, it's way too fucking random. I could see anything winning, anything being in last place, or if we get the percentages, anything being so off kilter that we just all roll our eyes and go, yeah, no one's taking that fucking seriously.
Yeah, that's what happens if
That's
Digimon
fun.
Partners opening wins. We know it's not legit.
See,
wins by any
here's the thing.
by any strong percentage.
I can't even imagine that one winning because, like, for one of these to
Mhm.
cheat win, you at least have to have a group willing to be like, yeah, that's the fucking thing we're going to prove our point for. What point do you prove for Digimon Partners? And
Yeah, that's where the proving your point one. That's where you see something like Digimon Tamers Anniversary winning by a strong percentage potentially.
see, but I could see that actually winning.
DigiFest 2021 opening for God help us.
Yeah.
If that one wins by a strong percentage,
Yeah, we'll
I'm going to be really concerned.
See, but here's the thing, like, if you're just enjoying that you get news, I could see that winning. There's plenty of reasons why it shouldn't, but I could see that winning.
I'd rather vote for the news itself.
But here's the thing, DigiFest still was, oh, they announced a movie, they announced a TV show, even though those are separate things. They did that, they
Yeah.
announced card stuff,
I
they
think that
announced
the
figures.
separate things would.
There's
Oh,
also
so would
like
I.
the performances that a lot of people look forward to. So
That's why you wouldn't vote for it, Dev. Ding ding.
Yeah, I just think that there's. I think that there would be other stuff to vote for to get the point home further. Yeah. If you're favoring, other news, you just vote for the other news.
Now on to actual questions. Although it's very good that AR caught that. We all got so caught up talking about. No, absolutely. We all got so caught up talking about the weird fucking double Ogremon face that we kind of like scrolled past it. So first question that someone sent in was, what's something you can watch endlessly if you have the time?
Excel Saga.
Oh, I can't do Excel Saga endlessly. It breaks my brain after like 4 episodes.
Dev, did you say Excel Saga or did you say Cell Saga?
Absolutely. Excel Saga.
Okay. I thought you said Cell Saga, and I was like, from Dragon Ball Z?
My answer my answer incidentally would be the same for Cell Saga. That would break my brain after 4 episodes.
Yes, but I needed like a certain amount of like absolute chaos and bullshit to function.
God, there's a lot of weird
shit. For me, if I was looking for that, if I was looking for like chaos, it would be Kadocha because it's chaos with an actual like recurring dramatic plot.
See, I would agree with Kodacha.
I just want stupid bullshit and puns.
I would agree with that with Kodacha, except one thing. I can't because I worked on it. If I sit and try to marathon Kodacha, I'm just after 5 minutes and be like, this feels like work. For me, it'd be something. Generic answer would be, haha, Star Trek, Top Gear before they started shuffling hosts, or something like Azumanga Daioh. I've watched God knows how many times.
Yeah, I could probably do Azumanga. Even Azumanga Daioh, I'd get tired of after like I could go longer with Azudai.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It does say endlessly. You're right. I guess I would
wear you down after a while.
I guess I was thinking rewatching it, then rewatching it again later in the future. But it I guess the wording is like marathoning, I guess.
Yeah, I struggle with marathoning a series.
Although when
the last anime I really marathoned was Slayers. I could probably marathon because that's pretty consistently.
Don't you think Excel Saga would wear down though, like that, like over and over and over?
I've been watching it totally very, very frequently since I was 15, so it still hasn't.
Okay.
So.
Okay,
fair enough. Let's see.
I should watch that again sometime. I say that about a lot of shows.
Derek asks, do we know if Ghost Game has a good audience in Japan? We actually do not, because it has never hit the point where we could say for sure what the audience is. And we honestly don't expect it to. Not because of it doing good or bad, but there's too much stuff airing that makes it hard for it to hit that level. It is effectively going to be us looking at financial reports and very boringly saying they seem happy, so good. Or attempting to deal with that, which always goes poorly because a lot of people read it and then kind of just throw out their own feelings on it rather than understanding what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, if it hits the top 10 at all, then you can generally say it's doing well enough. But because of the
Yeah,
current
I mean,
lineup
I
of
think we
shows,
can.
we're not going to see that.
Yeah, I think we can safely say it's doing less than the reboot, but that's about all we
See,
can conclude.
I'm not even willing to say that because I feel like it's too random. I will say it does feel like in searches which would break week to week when Adventure aired in Japan, it doesn't feel like that's happening with Ghost Game. But that's not real. But that there's even ways to interpret that positively. It could be that people are watching the show more rather than typing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But we don't we have very little data to go off of at the moment, though. To be it, I would assume it's doing all right, but I don't know.
I'm not making assumptions on that
No,
end right now.
I'm not either. I'm saying that you could guess almost anything with how little information we have, and you can't really say much. Minus, we don't have enough information to really know.
Yeah, like it feels like it has a little less of a buzz, but that doesn't necessarily translate
Yeah,
into
I
anything.
mean, look at how much buzz Bebop had before it ran, and 3 weeks later, that show's fucking gone.
Yeah.
And if you'd asked me after launch, regardless of how much upset people were about it, it seemed like it was doing well.
Everybody that whose opinions I actually value really liked it. So it's sad that it's
I've
gone.
seen enough clips to say that I was gonna watch it at some point, but I don't think I was gonna enjoy it. The best one was this clip that 100% looks like it was out of Seinfeld, and it has been framed that way when shown to people.
Which is appropriate for Cowboy Bebop when you really think about it.
Except my understanding is from people who have seen it is it misses stuff like, oh, they're poor, or stuff like that really fucking matters to the show. Like, it shows them eating bell peppers, but there's no comment
Yeah.
on there not being beef, when that is kind of important. Then someone wants to know, do we have any Christmas specials on deck to watch this month?
I don't tend to watch Christmas specials like as an appointment viewing, but I do go to a party every year where the host will put on as many random Christmas specials from various stuff every year, sometimes throwing in like Die Hard or Gremlins, good Christmas movies. Um and that's usually where I get my Christmas viewing. Like last year, he showed the Sonic Adventure Christmas episode, which was interesting to watch. I forgot how bad that show was.
Honestly, the only Christmas special I'm looking forward to seeing at all is Die Hard, and I don't care about anything else.
Honestly, I'm partial to the Garfield Christmas special. I think this came up with Thanksgiving, where
Yes,
I
it did.
lost track of if that was Thanksgiving or Christmas. I remember really liking that special.
You know,
I may
with
watch
the,
it.
with that Thanksgiving question, I cannot believe that none of us thought of Bob's Burgers because they nail Thanksgiving episodes
Don't watch Bob
consistently.
Burgers.
Oh, they made Thanksgiving their holiday. That's the show to go to for Thanksgiving episodes.
I'm pretty sure for Thanksgiving episodes, most people go to Friends.
Well, that's their problem. Bob's Burgers is way better than Friends.
And I don't watch
I
either
doubt
of
that.
those.
Then let's see. That guy, you will have to clarify what I assume that had to do with the Ghost Game audience, but he will have to clarify that. Derek also wanted to know, do we think we'll see evolutions above Ultimate this season?
Of course we will.
Technically speaking, no, because there is no level above Ultimate. Will we
I
see?
Mean
mean,
Ultimate in
I
like
think I interpret that as meaning
Oh,
perfect. Maya want to clarify that actually
yeah,
in the chat if
Derek.
perfect mean because there is
Yeah,
because there is no like if you're using that
yeah,
terminology then yeah there's no level
yeah.
above ultimate, but
Okay, so
if you mean ultimate as in
he's
perfect level.
talking about Ultimate / Mega. He's talking about
Oh,
that.
no.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
no.
I would say absolutely. Gamamon's gonna evolve to Ultimate. Something will happen,
Yes.
and then we'll get Gamamon Ultra Mode, where he will then have a sword and a hat. 100%. That is pretty standard at this point. I feel like that's gonna happen at least for Gamamon, who with his
Yeah,
three
that's
adult
pretty
forms.
standard.
Yeah, and that guy
Okay.
confirms that yes, he was talking about the ratings. How would you even tell? I think we explained that one well enough.
But yeah, as far as there'll be an add-on to
Yes.
Gamamon's Ultimate.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna be.
Chocolate armor.
Here's what's gonna be. It's gonna be based off, and I'm going completely off the perfect form, which is a white and red dragon. It's going to be a white and red guy who looks sort of like Wargreymon or Dukemon, and then he will get even shinier, and then get a hat. Um, then someone
Or
wants to.
cape.
Oh, that's true. It could be a cape or both.
Ooh, yes.
And
do
then
those.
someone wants to know how do
I
you
think give me Cape.
Yeah,
Sign me up for
then
Cape.
someone wants to know, how do you think they'll handle the final forms of the new Digimon with them not being on the DIMS? Well, if you look at
They'll be in there.
so here's the
They'll
thing.
be in the show.
Here's the thing. If you look at the DIMS, they call them V1, V2, V3. And look, it's V1.5, V2.5, and V3.5.
Or God help us, they actually just introduce the first time we see it is actually in the anime. Wouldn't that be fun?
There is one weird thing about those DIMS, though. Those three, and I think at this point only those three, all have one less Digimon. So the question is do they actually have one less, or are they somehow hidden on there that data miners haven't found them? I would say that it's just going to be they're going to do 0.5s and add one more form to each.
Yeah, because people will buy them.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what this is. People kept trying to come up with theories as to why it's missing the one slot. It's just that they don't want to include them yet, and then they will include them later.
Yeah, they'll include them later.
Yeah.
Because data miners will find them.
Yes. And then someone wants to know, are there any games you guys own too many times? This person says they own Cyber Sleuth on all 4 systems that came out.
Wow.
I own every single iteration of Cave Story that exists.
I'm trying to think, because there are a lot of games that I do own multiple times. I'm trying to think if there's any that I own, like, just an embarrassingly stupid number.
I think I own like 3 copies of Duke Nukem.
Oh, I own more than
I
3
think
copies.
that's the one I own too many
I own more than 3 copies of Duke Nukem. I'm sure if you look like at Doom or Super Mario Brothers, I probably own 10 to 12 copies of them.
I have not bought Doom recently. My only copy of Doom is the original Ultimate Doom.
Yeah, I get so. Okay, we should tweak this to make it actually where it can be embarrassing, because we all play old games also. I say it has to be something recent. It has to be something recent. That way, if you own more copies, it actually comes across as stupid. So, what recent games do we have?
No, I don't have. No, I don't do that.
I do, depending on the game and the price.
It's still just Cave Story for me.
Yeah, my wife has Stardew Valley on 2 platforms, but no, I don't do that.
I'm trying to think of the best 2 examples I can come up with, just sitting here thinking. Oh crap!
Hollow Knight?
I had like the name. Oh hell no! I know you love Hollow Knight. I just don't care. At some point I'll play it, but
Metroidvania.
I'm pretty sure I remember giving you some special Hollow Knight coupon from something. I don't remember what it was.
You did, and then I used it to get a Hollow Knight sweatshirt, which I still wear.
It was like some special coupon that got you like 20% off Hollow Knight stuff or something like that. I don't remember what it was. It was
Yeah, it was on Fangamer. It's like an extra 20% off on top of whatever sale they were running. I was like, fuck yeah, Hollow Knight.
Okay, I have my 2 stupid answers. Dragon Quest XI, which I own a few times for reasons.
Okay.
And this is where it actually requires an explanation, because most people go, oh, that's normal. I have Final Fantasy VII Remake on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, most people would go, well, they give it to you. And it's like, no, I bought the PlayStation 4 one on the disc and played it. And then the PlayStation 5 digital version was on, so I'm like, oh, I don't have to use the disc for the new version. And I have and then it gets stupider. A day after I get my new computer, I'm doing work, so I haven't had much time to like really put it through its paces. They announced Final Fantasy VII for PC. The game on the game on the systems was very well optimized, and it will go up to 120 frames on PC, and it comes out in the next few days.
Is that the remake or
the remake?
Are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, if we included the original game, then that would fall under. I definitely own that 5 or 6 times.
That was. Yeah, and I'd classify that as old.
So yeah, so the remake by the end of. I may not buy it this week because it's exclusive to Epic, and they always do coupon sales at the end of the year. But by the end of the year, I expect I will own that game 3 times for a game that only came out a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I tested the computer with Final Fantasy 15. I was able to max out the graphics and use the 4K texture pack on my 1440p monitor. I was getting 120 frames.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm sitting here going, man, Final Fantasy VII would be great like that. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna buy that fucking game again. Let's see. Then we have a question here. How long do you guys think until we have another serious Digimon manga? I mean, serious is kind of like metaphorical here because even the manga.
I don't think that ever existed.
No, exactly. Even the manga that people claim are serious really never were. They were just.
They were silly as shit with some cool fights.
Yeah,
they were always
V-Tamer
silly.
V-Tamer is kind of ridiculous.
No, it's very ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. But yeah, there hasn't really been a serious Digimon. Now, under context,
I would.
Let's see is like that one-shot chapter.
Yeah, what he means is not a gag. What he means is not a gag thing.
Yeah, let's say something in the long lines of V-Tamer in the next Cross Wars.
In the next 5 years, if Dreamers doesn't continue on whenever Ghost Game ends, because they could very well just keep that going. They could continue to just do a gag manga every month in Psycho Jump, even as shows change. That's how V-Tamer ran for so long. Was they just kept going?
Mm-hmm.
They could do that here.
Watch another Chinese manhwa come out for Digimon.
That wouldn't be that shocking.
Or whatever that was.
I mean, remember they had one last year. It was just an anime comic, but it existed.
Yeah.
Let's see. That guy wants to know, do you think Ghost Game would do better if it didn't try to have all of its leads in every episode, regardless if they do anything or not? No, because I don't feel like that's the issue. Because it's not like
they're not even trying.
Yeah,
they're not trying to have all the leads in every episode. Yeah, they're not forcing that.
Yeah, they really aren't. It does not feel like Ruli shoving her way into every episode. It's they happen to talk to her over a screen.
Yeah, if you erase the 2 seconds that Ruri is in that in last episode, it doesn't get better.
Yeah, she's not really in the episode. She calls them, and then we get a second where they flash to her. That's not really her being in the episode. That is, in theory, what you're actually asking for. It's just, it's not an issue of time for characters. It's an issue of they're just not doing much with them at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's like last week was a hero episode, and after the first half of the episode, they don't really do much with him. And that was, or even like the racing episode. I know a lot of people disagree with me about this. I don't feel like they did much with Ruli in that episode.
She just went fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they did. I thought they did enough with her in that case.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I think next week will be more important. I think next week will be important for doing more with.
Yeah, we will see what pops up next week. Next week's the one that matters, especially since they gave us the reference book for Simbare and Gormon, basically very much telegraphing for us what's happening here, even though the preview kind of does that also. Last chance for you guys in the chat. And the last question that was sent in ahead of time was, what Ghost Game merchandise would we get if it came out?
Gamamon plush.
I mean, you just beat me to it, so.
Yeah, that one
It's
feels.
Gamamon
Yeah,
plush.
I kept trying to think of other answers because that's like the cheat, very easy one. You know what would sell really
But
well
that's
as
what
a.
we want.
Yeah, that's what we want.
You know what would sell really well as a plush? I think. Jellymon's Jelly Mode, or whatever you want to call that.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, what if there's like
Oh
a
yeah.
hat? Like a hat with
That would
Jellymon's jelly
be a
mode.
good. That would be like a good stress ball, like squeezy stress ball kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure if you do that, you wake up and you'll see the thing staring at you from across the room, and you'll swear it looks angry.
If you squeeze hard enough, maybe like a sound, like she pops her eyes out and glares at you, and a sound activates and starts
Oh
yelling.
no! I just thought of what's good. Okay, are you ready for how you do it right? Okay, so it's the jellyfish mode, but the bottom has like Velcro, and if you undo it, it's Jellymon's face glaring at you.
Oh, that would be funny.
That's exactly how you do it, where you have to hide your face at a
Yes.
place where you wouldn't normally look at, and it's just looking angry at you with the one fang thing.
Yeah.
I would buy that.
I would too.
That's gonna be life size from Premium Bandai. It's gonna have a voice chip that if you squeeze it, it just yells, "Call me Jellymon Sama."
Jellymon Sama. Darling.
I don't know what's worse, that idea seems crazy, or that 100% seems like a Premium Bandai product.
That's
Both.
a guaranteed seller too.
Yeah. Although I feel like you have to do a Crane game plush of Angoramon.
I mean, at some point, they'll
I think,
probably all
yeah,
three will get Crane game plushes.
yeah.
Also,
They need a crane. They need like a gotcha app. I've realized they need a gotcha episode at some point in the future, because we need to have Kotaro's horniness coming in again when he spends his next term's tuition on Genshin Impact.
in important news before we finish up, the 3 plushies came out. Have you guys seen how fucking plush they are? They're more plush than we imagined.
I have
They
not
plush and
seen
ready?
any pictures of them
One sec.
other than
One
the
second.
previews.
1 second. I will find one right now. Because I've been retweeting them as they've popped up because, man, those look actually very nice. Then I have to scroll down. But yeah, they use that fluff that those big Agumon ones use. The ones that like
I think
people
they're
were
called
real.
like Mofu or something like that.
Yes. Let's see. Man, I've been retweeting a lot of art lately. I didn't realize. Because, it'll be in another window. You'll look over, you'll see, like, okay, retweet, retweet, retweet. Scrolling down. I will say this one thing Digimon fandom is very good at is very, very good art. Oh, here we go. Let me put that in the chat, and then in the chat for you guys also. Pop up my Discord window, which is not popping up.
Out of spite.
Now it is. Okay. There we go.
Oh my god.
Look at how fluffy those are.
Oh,
And
Oh
and here's
my
and here's the
god.
thing. That's not maximum fluffiness. If you look at Agumon, you can tell like that's clearly been like in a bag, so it hasn't settled yet.
It looks like he has like the little angriest eyebrows.
Yes. But yeah. Remember how we said that it looked like these could be the fluffiest things ever, but we'd have to wait to be sure? They are.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an amazing
even Tentomon.
That's an amazing level of
Still
fluffiness.
makes sense.
Hey, it works perfectly though. 100%.
I know my like local round 1 arcade often like imports a lot of Japanese Crane game.
You're just gonna start fucking showing up at the place, walking in, looking, and then walking out, aren't you?
I mean, I have done that.
I do that
before.
a lot.
Okay, Dev.
I do that a ton in those places.
Okay, Dev. Let's say you go in and you only have the budget to try to go after one. Who do you go after? of these three?
Piomon. Well, because I already have plenty of like Agumon merch, and I just
You're
don't get
gonna
fucked
walk.
up.
You're gonna walk in, see all three of them, and you're gonna see an Agumon staring at you, and fucking go for it.
It's usually
I
how
mean,
my
if I don't
conventions
have the
go.
Yeah.
other two as a choice. I mean,
But
if I had a choice of all the partner Digimon, I would go for like Tailmon and Patamon
Oh, a
first.
Tailmon of those would be amazing.
to be fair,
Gabumon would be more fitting.
the Tailmon one that came out a while ago kind of looks like these though.
It's not
Not as
quite as
fluffy though.
fluffy.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
it looks amazing, but it's not quite as fluffy.
The
It's a slightly different
It's
fabric.
it's
this
very
level
close
of
though.
fluffy. This level of fluffiness is the only way you're getting me to buy Tailmon again, because I have enough Tailmon.
I don't know. It comes pretty close.
I want. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I would want a plushie of Tailmon Uber.
I just scrolled past the Tailmon.
Oh yes.
I just scrolled past that recent Tailmon plush. Now
I still want it, but it's
that's
not
not
quite
super.
as fluffy.
That's not super plushy, but that's plushy enough, I think. Although we really do need a super plushie. Okay, as we start to wrap up, AR, do you have anything coming up?
Probably not. Actually, I might have something coming up this week. Somebody wanted me to do a plot review of Re-Arise, which we'll see if I get around to that. That sounds like a lot of work, but yeah, if I do that, it would be on my Tumblr, firstagent.tumblr.com. My Twitter is firstagentarp. And the Packers are now winning, so I'm happy.
I actually have stuff to go over, but first, Dev, what Wikimon article do you want people to read?
Because we were talking about crane games, they should look at Catch Mamemon.
The instant you said because, I knew exactly who you were gonna fucking say. That is amazing.
I come up with it and pull it out of my ass.
That's the Digimon. That's the Digimon I need featured in a future Ghost game too.
I would like
gotcha.
that. That would be fun.
No.
Yeah.
We need Catch Mamemon version Uber. Where
it's just throwing boxes at you?
No, where it carries boxes and it's themed as part of like the Uber team.
You know what? That would be funny.
Drone,
I'd be
isn't
okay
it?
with that.
No, it's like a little Mamemon piloting it. If you look at the art of Catch Mamemon, it's like a little Mamemon as part of a machine with playing the crane game.
Yeah. Piloting the drone.
So first up, tomorrow, Discotheque announcement stream, and I'll be handling the social media as always. Lots of fun announcements tomorrow that I'm looking forward to.
More stuff.
And then on Tuesday, already recorded, I am a guest on the Nerd Impact podcast. We're talking about Digimon. It was very, very strange to do it where I don't have to have all the controls and notes. Or I kept looking down for OBS to click stuff. It's it's not there. I'm like, oh, it's like, oh, wait, never mind. Very strange. Very good talk with those guys. Very fun. And
is that about the series or just about merchandise, like the whole franchise in general?
Main focus was on season 1. More later stuff brought in, and I discussed every With the Will podcast host at some point.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I hope you said nice things.
I always say nice things. And you know that's true. You know that's not a joke. I'm always very kind. And
unlike me.
Dev's very mean behind everyone's back. Not in the sense of people, I mean generically. Although Dev's also Dev's also sweeter than she likes to let on.
You work in retail and you run Wikimon, so no one blames you.
No, that's the funny part. Is she's probably more mad that I said that she's actually sweeter than she lets on than she would of me saying that she's mean.
Yeah, because it's
oh, it's true. It's true. How many times have you helped someone with Digimon stuff for no reason other than they needed help? You know
Because
that's
they
true.
asked nicely and weren't a
But
dick.
that's the retail thing. Like that's the I'm going to help you so you can leave me alone now.
I don't know. There's been like we didn't do it this year because we're all too busy, but like Digimonica isn't like leave. There's times when she's had to hustle to get stuff done. That's not leaving alone. She could just say she's too busy and she knows I wouldn't ask her for shit. Dev's helpful and just doesn't want to
That's
admit it because she
fun.
doesn't want people to help to ask her.
I will
So
do tasks when people are when people are nice to me.
yeah. So we will catch you guys next time. Thanks everyone for showing up. Bye.
Go Pack Go.
I know nothing about sports.